The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
You know, I was considering coming in on a deep fake with B. Arthur, but for the life of me, I couldn't get the voice down. My voice isn't deep enough. So
Right.
I couldn't nail that. This is Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. If you're looking for someone else, you're in the wrong place. He's Kevin. I'm Sean, and you're here with us again, the Kliq This crew. It must be Monday. So many of you say we make your Monday enjoyable, and that's like one of the biggest compliments you can give, because Mondays generally blow. Dog. Kev, you had a significant weekend because you got back out on the road.
Yeah, I went back on the road.
For the first time in, what is it called, Pensacon?
Yeah, Pensacola, Florida. Pensacon.
And big crowds, like the other cons
Yeah.
you do?
I mean, I think they had like 30,000 people on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh. Half of them there to see you, I bet.
Enough to make it interesting.
Good. Who were you sitting next to? Is it always a better day when you're like sitting near somebody that's cool, or do you not
No.
even pay attention?
No, because I'm praying. I'm praying that I don't even know who the fucker is next to me. I'm too busy.
Right.
If I'm spending time getting to know some motherfucker next to me, I need to be in my fucking room watching TV.
So this was the lineup this week. Let's see. Who did you hang with here?
Let me see. I hung out with Honky Tonk. Me and Honky spent some time together. He's doing good. Holly's from Charmed. I talked to her. Let me see who else here. Jungle Boy was next to me. He's quiet. He's pretty quiet.
Just looking for people I know here.
Let me see. Let me see if it's
There's a guy with a puppet.
Let me see.
Is that Leva Bates?
Margot Bingham. I hang out with her a little bit.
Is that Marty the Midget?
See Margot? She's the black
No,
girl.
who's that now?
She's a black girl up over.
Yes, I do. What's she
there
from?
She is.
Walking Dead. Okay.
Yeah, Walking Dead.
Mackenzie Phillips. Oh, canceled. God damn it.
You know, but it doesn't mean that they weren't fucking there. It's just that the society has canceled them.
Oh, they've been canceled
Yeah,
by
they
the
just-
left.
Yes, exactly.
What did she say? Mickey
Mickey
James?
She said that she really doesn't like country music. Canceled. So it can be, you know. There's if you go, let's go up one more row. Up, or I guess down. The other way. Yeah. There's Rose, who.
Rose McGowan.
Yeah, she was there, and while she was there, I think Harvey Weinstein got another 15 years thrown onto his fucking.
I saw.
Flash Gordon, always a good dude.
Is that did Tom Arnold?
Yeah, I saw Tom.
Okay.
I talked to Tom.
Man, there have to be, what is there, 75 people there? DiBiase canceled.
Canceled. I think he's got too much heat with. I think he's fishing with Brett Favre.
Crypto. So his belt now is just a crypto Some of this Tom Arnold.
Yeah.
I always liked him. He's funny as hell.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Roseanne publicly criticized his dick. You remember that? Like when they split up? And they asked him for a comment. He goes, listen, if you park a DC-10 in the Grand Canyon, it looks small. I like people that don't take shit, you know?
Yeah,
so, all right, so it was a good weekend. It's particularly significant because this is the first time you've been out since Tristan's passing.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's the first time I've been on an airplane since September.
did the Delta crew...
They were cool. Yeah, they weren't over the top. They were just saying, it's nice to see you back, Mr. Nash.
Oh, that's cool.
I said, you look fucking old as fuck, dude. I'm like, thanks.
How long you growing the beard out? Are we gonna? What's the story with this? Are we gonna do full Duck Dynasty gimmick or what?
No, I'm not. No, I don't. I mean, I want to keep my shit. You know, I'm not gonna let it get ratty.
Right.
But
well, I'm glad it was a success. Those of you that got out to see Kevin.
Don't you hate to shave?
It's like a minute of my life. I don't. I like facial hair less than I mind shaving.
See, I hate to shave.
When I was acting on camera, like in the 90s, I did the stubble thing because that was just what was going on. And as I get older, when it starts to gray, as stubble, it looks like somebody put a load on your face. A little patches.
Oh yeah, when it's tight and as white as mine is, yeah, it just makes you look like a fucking wino.
Right. So you got it's either got
much like I feel.
Right. Did you have a little Camus yesterday?
Yeah, it was the wife's birthday celebration. Went out to dinner last night. And I got. I mean, we drank, responsibly at the restaurant. And once we got home, she had some stuff she had to do, so she went to bed. And I got a couple more bottles down. And
a couple.
Yeah. It's been a while too. I mean, it's funny because I actually talked to X-Pac like all night. We just fucking bullshitted about different things, and I went to bed like the cleaning crew came, so I'd had to go hide from them throughout the day. Like they'd be in one part of the house making noise, and I'd have to go fucking find someplace else that was cold and dark to hide. And
like under the dining room table, like a fucking Great Dane trying to stay away from the company.
Like, fuck, man. But I didn't have a headache, and I wasn't like, because I sat after I drank the wine, and I just sat after that and just drank water. I probably drank 2 gallons of water. So
you can have 3 fucking bottles of red wine and you don't get a headache.
No. That's over the course of 6 hours, though.
Doesn't matter. Still, it's a lot of red wine. See, I enjoy red wine occasionally, but if I ever have too much, it's like instant headache, and red wine for some reason makes me so tired. I don't know if there's a scientific thing to it.
Mine is if I fucking drink champagne, God,
I hate shit.
I drink a couple cups of champagne. Couple glasses of champagne, I'm fucked.
I used to like gin a lot when I drank, but that was another headache thing the next day.
Early in my alcohol consumption career, my dad had a bottle of gin that he left in the pantry, and I was looking for something to drink, and my dad had passed, but he was a gin and tonic. So the gin was still in there, and I was looking for something to mix it with, and I found a Frosty's root beer in the refrigerator, and I mixed gin with root beer.
No.
I can't smell gin now.
Yeah, that's true, man. You get too fucked on something, it ruins you for life with it.
Do you remember when you were when I was? I mean, it was a huge. It was slow gin. Everybody drank slow gin and orange juice.
A slow gin fizz too. You could put it with.
But I mean, if you get a bottle
slow
of
gin.
Yeah, it was like a high school. It was a step up from Mad Dog.
It's funny how shit goes out of favor. I ordered, not recently, but probably within the last 5 years, a slow gin fizz. But they went, what? A what?
It's like ordering a tequila sunrise.
Yeah, shit goes out of favor.
Yeah.
Try to get a gimlet somewhere. Like, try to get a grasshopper.
Yeah, right. Those old fucking Valley of the Dolls fucking Harold Robbins cocktails.
I'll have a sidecar.
Fucking give me a Rob Roy.
A Rob Roy.
While I fucking sit here in this beautiful car I call the Betsy.
Your feedback from last week, brilliant listeners. Some talk about Sizemore in our comments. Ringspan said,
Did anything come? I thought they were going to make a decision today.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Tom,
I just saw that the prognosis was not.
No, it was good. I mean, it came across yesterday while I was actually at dinner. Let me just see if Tom has anything.
Ringspan says, a brilliant actor until the very end. I enjoy the hell out of Big Kev and Sizemore in The Assault, 2017. It proudly sits in the action section of my personal film library shelves. What did we see there, Steve? What was the update on the screen?
Still alive?
Yesterday, family told there's no further hope.
But they haven't. He's still alive.
They're deciding on what to do there.
Yeah.
Fucking decision that may we never have to make.
I didn't have much. I didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
To make.
WCW nWo collection says, you know it's a good day when real Kevin Nash says motherfucker at least 7 times in the first 40 minutes of the Kliq This podcast. Kevin and Sean, keep up the great work. Much love from England.
I guess that's probably, like, the word fuck is probably kind of like what, but I guess a motherfucker is, I mean, there's a little effort there.
There is.
Like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, 4 syllables, so
there's no way,
a little more work.
There's no way that can't be construed semi-aggressive. I guess if you say, like, you motherfucker, like, you sly dog, that's where that...
Come here, motherfucker. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But, we've had...
Or you got a girl eating your ass, and you go, mother
fuck. You tell me you had braces.
Jeez. I don't do that shit. You got to go. Ain't no way. Don't put that face by my fucking pillows.
Those aren't pillows.
Brrr.
I've noticed that after a brief effort, we really stopped trying to moderate our language. Remember, there was a stretch there, like maybe episode 7 or 8, where we tried to cut down because we thought maybe it was affecting monetization. Has the YouTube community just gone, fuck it, just leave? It's them. It's what they do. Leave the fucking thing.
Don't make me get a thesaurus out here.
Need a thesaurus for thesaurus.
Yeah. Easy for you to say.
Corey Bigby said he loved working with Nash this past weekend at Pensacon.
Corey was my handler.
So there he is. He wrote in. Great jokes, better stories. Power Top. Brokeback Mountain deleted scenes. A new Harriet Tubman movie. I can't wait to hear it, Kev. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
So he sits down, and the first guy comes up, and it's what's the prices? So, Corey gives the prices, and I say, for $20 extra, I'll fucking do it. An incredibly deep, accurate inseam measurement. And the guy just kind of goes, excuse me? I said, fucking make it 40. And then after that, the one guy said, yeah, I saw you in this and this. I saw you in this and this. I said, I tell you what, I said, some of my best work is, I said, if you get the DVD, I said, the deleted scenes from Brokeback Mountain are pretty good. And he just looks at me, he just because I never, I just say it like matter of factly, and he just was like, haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Like wasn't like, oh fuck, really? He was like, oh really? I have not seen that.
If he had, his reaction would have been vastly different, or
Exactly.
maybe a reference to horses.
You weren't really into that, were you? But
is there a new Harriet Tubman movie in the works? I was a fan of the Underground Railroad myself.
No, somebody said something. They said, "You got anything you're working on?" I said, "The new Harriet Tubman movie." And they inquired. They said, "Well, what do you play?" I said, "I play Harriet Tubman." And he just looks at me. I said, "This is going to put me, like almost in a Daniel Day-Lewis class. Like I'm going to play a demure black woman." And he's waiting for me to like, and I don't. I said, I think I can pull it off. I said, but I've already told him. I said, I'm not going to go forward with the fucking production until they put me on the 20. Because remember, they were supposed to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, and he got none of it. Yeah. I mean, it's just, to me, that's the whole fun of going to those things, is just to be a complete asshole.
Well, it's not an asshole. You're just having some fun.
Yeah, I
tell you, just get the blank stares. Like,
that's a long fucking day.
Oh,
and the thing is, too, it's like there's people that you get a line and you go through them and you make some cash, and then there's always the person that waits until fucking there's a lull, and that's the guy that wants to come up and talk about Brokeback Mountain, because he's coming up to get a little convo. So it's just like, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna give him like regular guy, like, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. How's the con going? And he's gonna walk away going, God, that blew.
Right.
Or him walking away going,
what's wrong with Nash?
Is Harriet Tubman gonna be on a $20 bill? What did happen to that? Because I said it myself. I was like, what did happen to that? How did that, But then again, we had a Republican, I forget what his name was, in Tennessee, that wanted to bring back the hanging tree.
Yeah, I'll tell
wow.
You. No bad implications there.
So this is a question I got for you. I've been watching. I think we've all, no matter what, I want to clarify that this is something that's been covered not only in mainstream news, not only Reddit, not only in the darkest, deepest parts of the internet, but pretty much every fucking where. Fox News fucking lies to you, and they're all in on it.
Yeah.
At the price of $1.6 billion.
Are you wasting money on subscriptions? 80% of the people that have subscriptions have some that they forgot about, okay? Maybe for, I don't know, an unused Amazon Prime account, or you have a duplicate account in the house. One person opened it, the other one opened it, forgot about it. A Hulu account that never just gets streamed and you just forgot you ever signed up for it. There's a great app I use that helps me track all of my expenses. This is great. Everyone I even tell this about. I was telling my brother-in-law about this the other day, and he was like, what, really? I said, yeah, and it's from Rocket. I mean, a lot of people have their mortgages with Rocket, and it is Rocket Money. Okay, they track your expenses, and they will show you exactly what you are subscribed to. And many people don't even realize. I'm going to give you some statistics here. The average person, okay? Most Americans think they spend $80 a month on subscriptions. The actual total is closer to $200. You could be wasting hundreds of dollars every month. The interface is very easy. You can see some of it there. They show everything to you right there. Anything you don't want anymore, you tap the button. It's gone. It's like hitting a button on your phone and Rocket Money sending money into your pocket practically, because they're going to save you from continuing to subscribe to stuff that you just don't need or you've reconsidered and want to opt out of. The app shows all your subscriptions in one place, cancels for you whenever you want. They can even find subscriptions you probably didn't know you were paying for. Get rid of the useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/Nash. Seriously, it could save you like hundreds of dollars a year, guys. That's rocketmoney.com/Nash. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/Nash, and let us help you do that. Thank you, Rocket Money, always, for joining us. Well, the thing is with that, if January 6th is going to be considered a crime against our nation, right? Guys are being charged. If it was propagated knowingly, now, reporting something that turns out not to be true later, different story. If you've got knowledge that it's incorrect, and it feeds into that result, I think they should be held liable.
I look at it that the situation became it was a completely different ballgame once they were the network that gave Biden Arizona first, because that was like all the Trump, that was like that was going to be a stronghold for Trump, and they gave Biden, and that kind of was it. Like that kind of like what was the nail on the head, and everybody just with Fox doing that, and then them starting the stole the vote shit. Like basically, they had to double back to get those people that went other places that still were on the narrative of Trump being the president.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, nothing will probably come of it, but
I think they'll fucking. I mean, it's going to go to the Supreme Court. I mean,
to what end, though? I mean, I just don't know. I mean,
you know what? The thing that fucking makes me insane is this motherfucking, hey, let's pay back kids' college loans. I watched a girl on TV last night, said she just fucking graduated, and she was 30 grand in the hole from her college education, and she's not going to have enough fucking money this year to go on vacation. Bitch, you haven't fucking even got a job yet. You don't need to worry about going on vacation. You need to work 60 fucking hours a week and put some fucking money away and pay off your goddamn fucking bills, okay? That's how it works.
10 years worth of ads on this show.
That's how it fucking works, okay? That's how it works. You know what? I don't want to fucking pay for anything either. You know what? Fuck my DirecTV. I want to get subsidized by the government. Come on, man. The fucking problem is you didn't go to the community college and get your English 101 and all your core classes and pay $400 like I did for my wife, and then send her last 2 years. I put my wife through school bouncing 100 hours a week. And you did what? What did you do to fucking, you accumulated 30,000. Did you fucking work? Did you do anything?
Did she look like a bouncer? Would she have been able to?
She was pretty stout.
Okay. She maybe should have gone that route, maybe.
Yeah. No, I just, man, what the fuck?
Look, I'm all for an affordable path to college. If everyone talks about this, it never goes beyond initial discussion stages. State colleges, of course, are more reasonable if you're in state, but private schools can charge you whatever the fuck they want, and
yeah,
good Lord, do they?
Oh yeah, but on top of all that, man, like I have so many friends that have master's degrees that are doing something that's so below their pay grade, but they're either burnt out at fucking because they were fucking doing IT work, or they were in the financial sector, or they did something where it was just like dog eat dog. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go fucking be a wagon trained fucking driver over at the old West Town. Make $8 an hour. Fuck it. Get stoned in the morning and go over there and grab my fucking setup and get some kids in the back, and around the fucking old West Town we go.
You can drive the damn Disney cruise line, the Disney Jungle Cruise.
Whoa.
Like, what's his name? Joey Ryan.
I heard about that.
I think I'll get a hip young wrestling reference in there.
I heard he put his girlfriend in the back and teetered the fucking whole
she's hot.
shit.
Jeremy says, I don't care how many times I get to do it. It will always be surreal chatting with one of my favorites, real Kevin Nash. Thank you to Ad-Free Shows for making it possible. Tonight was the third one. Let's go for 4 next month. Jeremy obviously joining us for our Ad-Free Show watch along. We did some classic matches. We saw the Yeti.
Anybody that hasn't got a chance to go back into that time vault that they call Classic WCW and revisit the monster truck battle between the Giant and Hulk Hogan
up on the roof,
and then right into the fucking main event. I mean, it's just from a storytelling standpoint, it's a masterpiece. It's just, God, it's so good.
Everything about that night was a masterpiece.
Yeah, there was nothing, like you just look at it and it's like, wow.
Now, we shit on chops on this show, but we hadn't seen the kind of chops Sullivan.
They were, see, it's different because you actually in your head, when you chop somebody like this way, but when you come this way, in your mind, it's almost, you cannot do that and not say in your mind, karate chop. And that's, I think, where the beauty of that, those 3 karate chops
to the back.
Sullivan lays into the right upper back latimus area.
Would it be the deltoid?
It could be rear delt. It may be. I thought it was more pinpointed supraspinatus, infraspinatus, like a rotator, like almost like a tie-in. It looked more that, you know. But who? I mean, I'm not Grey's Anatomy over here. I'm just a guy that just loves a solid, put together match that just brings me back to when I was a kid.
Absolutely. Germinator 356 says, Kliq This podcast. Excellent as always. We need real Kevin Nash to host Saturday Night Live. Bummed out I wasn't able to see you at Pensacon. Drove around all weekend looking for a 7-foot punk, but never saw him. I think you said on air that SNL would have been a dream gig for you back.
Yeah, I would have loved to have given that a shot. You know who was at the Comic-Con was Lorraine Newman.
Of SNL fame.
The original 7.
How old are we talking? Probably. She's probably early 20s, right? In the mid-70s.
I would think that she's maybe 70.
Okay.
I'm going to say 70, 71. She looked good.
I'd love to talk to that cast just about stories from that time. Bill Murray, hanging with Belushi.
I was going through the other day, like, you know, when you go on Instagram and you get down and you just kind of scroll through and it's just basically like little fucking, you know, whatever they're called, but they're like little movies.
Shorts?
Whatever.
Films? What the fuck? Yeah,
they're just
reels. Reels.
Yeah, reels. Yeah, reels. And they just showed like the first time that Belushi and Aykroyd did the Blues Brothers. And they walked up there and they put across their hands and they go into the fucking the brass and they fucking go into that crazy dancing. And then Belushi sings and like Belushi doesn't have a bad fucking voice.
No, they did okay. They did their real shit. Was it Soul Man? I remember one of the performances was Soul Man.
That was the first thing they ever did. Yeah, I'm a soul man. That was Aykroyd's. Aykroyd didn't say much besides that. I'm a soul man.
His brother Jim has a cannabis farm. There was a documentary series. Steve, you could look it up and see where it's running. Where they went out and they would it was like a reality show. They just followed Jim around on the farm, growing pot for medicinal, or I guess whatever state it was legalized. I feel like it was in the Pacific Northwest somewhere. Oregon, maybe? Washington? We'll find out. I didn't like the show. It was one of those very staged reality shows, and Belushi wasn't pulling it off. But there it is, Belushi's farm. But I was very interested in his knowledge of the strains and everything. And there's one episode in the show where Aykroyd comes up because Jim wants to do a Blues Brothers strain of cannabis, and they do, and they make it and they market it. So anyone out there who has had some of Jim's offerings, let us know, especially if you smoked the Blues Brothers one. He had one strain he called the marriage counselor. See, because it calmed him down enough to be able to be lived with by his wife. Mongo, Big Kev talking about his wrinkles, and here I am having to call Servpro to my house every time my wife sees him on screen. It took me a second, but that's a tremendous reference. She soaks the fucking house, Kev, so don't worry about your wrinkles, brother.
I hear you.
Doing all right. Mongo's wife, anyway. Fernham Schnavitz III says, as far as drummers, Phil Collins is up there with one of the best. His idol was Buddy Rich, and he just won the Buddy Rich Lifetime Achievement Award. I was listening to Stern today, and he had on Kiss, and the drummer Eric Sims, listen to me, Eric Singer was asked who the greatest drummer of all time was. He said, greatest drummer of all time, Buddy Rich. Greatest rock drummer of all time, John Bonham. So 2 Buddy Rich shout-outs in one day. Come on, bring something up, Steve. Let's go. 2 organic references to Buddy Rich in the same day. He simultaneously shows off a tremendous amount of talent while looking like he's ready to knife somebody.
Looks like Jerry Lewis fucked somebody from the Planet of the Apes.
Cornelius and Jerry Lewis. Tremendous. Very good. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
I have another task for you, Steve. Steve, enjoying this way too much. Turn off Pornhub, Steve. You do see there's a nice new little layout if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're listening on Apple, that's absolutely fine. Just when you get home, make sure you put us on YouTube. Also, you can listen and then watch later on. 2 hits wouldn't kill you. But above me here is our QR code. You just have to hit that with your phone, and you'll be automatically taken to the Kliq This merch page. And there's some new offerings we wanted to show. I think we talked about this last week a little bit. I don't know if it was on air or maybe just our ad-free friends got to see it in the meeting. But we have the 2 title belts with the nWo style spray paint, if you want the red or the black. That is actually the World Heavyweight title held by Tristan Nash. Many of you didn't know. He had a brief run.
Undefeated.
With the big belt. And then the 7-foot punk.
Actually, he beat Bill DeMott 13 times.
Bill DeMott.
My son.
Thank God we got a Bill DeMott reference on one of the shows.
Well, if you get 2 Buddy Riches, you've got to balance shit out somehow.
You do.
Yeah.
Hey, we talked to this week, and you dropped some fucking knowledge on me about, we were talking about the $9 billion sale.
Oh
right?
yeah,
WWE.
when I got, like last week, I was like Mr. 63-year-old man, and it's just so nonchalantly with the WWE was like, what would you rather have,
The Yankees.
the Yankees or WWE? And then I go into this vault of, I don't know. It was like it was a vault that was just there for me, because what it basically did was it said there are 10 entities on the planet that have 90 million or above subscribers on YouTube. One of them is the WWE. And they said, and to put it into reference, the NBA has 19.8 million followers, and the NFL has 4 million followers, and fucking they have 90 million followers on fucking YouTube. I thought that I was just like, I just shut the fuck up. I don't know what I'm talking about.
They posted that when they heard this show.
They got
So
pissed. They got pissed. I got asked today. They've got some new young big guys down at the camp, and they were curious if I would come down and give them some pointers over the course of a couple of days.
They're really just going to sit you in a classroom and educate you on the importance of social media reach.
What it is I think that, I mean, it's this synergy right now that's going on with the Yeti, and you've got some young guys. I've just spent that much time, like, I think I worked like almost probably 2 hours a day on just walking around with my hands straight out. Crazy as it's not as easy as it seems with fucking bad rotator cuffs.
When you're going to call the spot, do you call the Karloff? What do you call it?
I call it the Karloff because he's going, but I don't think Ron Reed. I don't think he's making the Karloff reference now that I look at it, because he should, if he would have had both hands out and dragging the foot, that would have been Yeti mummy-ish. But actually, if you've ever seen like the Ravel model of the mummy, he always was like this, and this hand here was missing the fingers, and it was wrapped in a bandage, and he had a little like tomb behind him, and there was a small cobra that came with the model kit.
These are the models you put together in paint.
Yeah,
the little tester paint kits.
The little famous monster models.
Nice.
God, I love those things. I had them all, and then when my son was born and he got to like be about 4, I went to a hobby shop and they had them downsized. They were like half the size, but there were 4 of them. So you got Dracula, Frankenstein, Creature of the Black Lagoon,
and the Mummy.
The
Wolfman.
I think the Wolfman,
yeah.
And then the other kit had Hunchback of Notre Dame, Wolfman. Oh God, I can't even.
Bride of Frankenstein, maybe?
No. Invisible Man. The chemistry kit. And his bandage is open, and you can see through it, and he's got the sunglasses on.
Yep.
That fucking model.
Classics.
When things were so simple, you could go to college for $300 a year.
No college talk today. Kiss. Well, I will shout out my daughter who's applying to colleges now. We've heard back from a lot of the colleges. She was offered from... let me see what came in here. From Marymount, she was offered a $91,000 scholarship.
Nice.
Pace University offered her, I think, $64,000 scholarship. They sound like astronomical amounts, but when you break them over 4 years, it's like half the tuition. It's like, oh, we'll take half off. You only have to pay $30 a year.
NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. Woo!
As an adult, don't we all miss spring break? Nothing like taking a week off from all your responsibilities. Well, here's the next best thing for adults, a spring break from house payments. SaveWithConrad.com can help you get rid of all your credit card debt, just like that. We're routinely helping our listeners save $500, $600, $700, even $800 a month. And you don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket to do this, but check this out, no house payments for 2 months at SaveWithConrad.com.
So she's doing well on that front. You're offering a lot of money. I mentioned Kiss before, and today they announced their final shows ever.
Oh, fucking stop it for the 300th time.
Would be on December 1st and 2nd at Madison Square Garden, wrapping it up where it all started. Tickets are not yet on sale. Now, I've seen them a few times, but I feel like, the last show ever.
I will tell you somebody that will be at one of those two shows, probably the significance of Saturday, if at all possible, will be Triple H.
Oh, he's a mark?
Yeah, he likes Kiss.
Well, he'll probably get fucking backstage and everything. He'll get the whole treatment. I'll have to buy tickets. So I wanted to see, I think they go on sale in a few days. So I wanted to see what I'm going to be in for with the ticket packages.
Paul's got enough cash, he can buy the fucking house.
Yeah, exactly. With 90 million YouTube subscribers. So I go on to see what the European tickets are costing, because I figured there'd be some kind of parallel there, although the dollar's stronger. But so for $3,500 a ticket, Kevin, you'll be able to sit in the pit, which is right in front of the stage. You'll be able to stand on the stage prior to the show, take a picture at either Gene or Paul's microphone, hold the guitars, and get a meet and greet with the band and a photo for $3,500.
$3,500?
It includes the ticket. Yeah, they do have $1,000 meet and greet package, but you got to buy your ticket.
It would be worth it if, in writing on the back of the fucking ticket, it said, if we ever do another show, we have to pay you back
$1 million. Yeah,
25 times the cost of this fucking ticket.
Oh, so they're on sale already? So Hollywood Bowl, November 3rd. Okay, so these are just the tickets. So what are the tickets?
Is that a garden setup?
This is the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh,
right here.
Okay.
So this would be. So those front sections, zoom in a little. I can't see.
So they're already on. It's just not the garden. They're on tour.
They're doing. I think it's a month, and they're finishing with Madison Square Garden. So that section there. So that's $26.99, even without the meet and greet package. Oh, so it's going to be higher here than in England, obviously. Those packages. Oh, that's for 2 tickets. $18.49, $21.29. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reevaluate this. I'm gonna have to see. I've had my photo taken with them before. I met them before. I met Gene Simmons. Actually, the lunatic I am, Kevin, when I was, 20, whatever, I decided that I had a business proposal that Gene Simmons had to look at. They had a summer tour coming up, and I thought they should manufacture Kiss Cream, which would be ice cream based on Kiss songs. Instead of King of the Nighttime World, I had King of the Nighttime Swirl. Instead of Strutter, I had Strutterfinger, which was a Butterfinger ice cream, of course, and Rocky Road All Night, Party Every Day. So I draw up this thing. I was working on Wall Street. I had endless amount of time, so I draw up this thing and I send it out to Gene, FedEx it to Gene. I hear nothing, obviously. So I find out Gene's coming to at the time, it was Borders Books on Wall Street in Manhattan. I said, I'm going to confront him about this, why he hasn't come. So I go to the fucking thing. I get my audience with Gene. And I say, Gene, had a great idea, sent it to you. Not sure if you got it for Kiss Cream. He's like, oh, no, I don't recall getting that. I said, all right, well, here it is. So I give him the pitch again, and he gave me the greatest piece of business advice. He said, that's an idea. I said, yes, and a good one. He goes, yeah, okay, so I want to build the tallest building in the world called the Kiss Building. Great, can I build a building? Do you own an ice cream company? I said, no. He said, you can have any idea you want. He said, you either have to have somebody with you that can do it, or you got to do it yourself. Everyone has ideas. Great advice.
He knows. That dude's fucking, he's money, man.
So will you be going to the final Kiss show? There are none in Florida or Michigan. I checked for you. The final month.
There is no person on this planet that I would pay money to go see, to fucking stand on my 2 feet.
For 3 hours?
It's not going to happen.
What if you had a booth? What if you had one of the... What if Trips gave you a call, said, Kev, I got the booth.
For his 50th birthday, he had Fogarty out at his barn at his lake house. So that's how he rolls.
Right. All right. We'll see if he's there, though. You have to check back with us and tell us in our December shows if he goes out there. Well, it's time for the stiff one of the week, Kevin, and this week's stiff one is going to be brought to us by Sleep Me. Our old friends are back. One of our very early advertisers, and man, this is a revolutionary product. I needed to be educated on the fact that temperature-controlled sleep actually repairs muscle and improves cognitive function. So I could always start my day feeling sharp, confident, and energized. Sleep Me is the new name for Chili Sleep, which you might have heard prior. But they bring you the same great sleep that Chili Sleep used to offer, but now under a new name. They make the coldest sleep systems available. They create the environment that meets the body's natural need for lower core temperatures, promoting deeper restorative sleep. These sleep systems are water-based, temperature-controlled mattress pads that fit over your existing mattress. And you get the app. You can control the temperature, literally set the exact temperature you want your bed to be. At any point in the night, you're uncomfortable, you want to change it, go lower, go higher even. If you're a little chilly, you do that right on the dial there. It's so super easy. I have the Doc Pro sleep system myself here, and you can experience cooling, ultimate cooling power with the Doc Pro sleep system. I want to tell you how you're going to be a part of this, guys. Save 25% off any new Doc Pro, Cube, or Uller sleep system if you go to sleep.me/Kevin. That's sleep.me/Kevin. Okay, take advantage of this incredible discount. Wake up refreshed. This thing really works. It is not obscured by your body. It literally keeps you cool all night long. And give it a shot. Let us know what you think about it.
I have 2 questions.
Go ahead.
Why would he wear a shirt to bed?
Oh, that dude?
Yeah.
I wear a t-shirt to bed. Is this not normal?
I mean, because you're trying to regulate your body temperature, so you're putting that layer. Like, to me, like if you have something that's going to drop your core, you want to be naked.
That's an interesting point. I think I do need underwear on. Might just be the massiveness of my hog, but I'm much more comfortable when I'm packaged, rolling around in the bed. Who knows what's going to happen? And interesting point about the t-shirt. Maybe I'll go full commando tonight.
And then the second one is, without going back, what time were those 2 kids in bed? Don't go back.
Why? There's a clock visible in the.
Yeah, they were there. It was 11. It was 11:20 p.m.
Well, I mean, you're just getting started, but I'm usually out at that time. Oh no, that's 4. Isn't that 4? 4 in the morning, or is it 11:20? I can't tell which is the long hand and the short hand. Either way, those two people are sleeping comfortably. She looks very satisfied. He must have had a session.
I wonder.
Do
Do you think it's? I mean, do you go that all in? I mean, are you like making a commitment when you work for that ad agency? Like, I think we should, hammer a couple out.
Oh, for the shot, just to get.
Yeah.
Well, he might be method. They might be method models, and maybe he drew her one.
Wouldn't you feel? I'd feel creepy if I knew I was just like laying next to her, kind of being creepy. But if we'd have hooked up for like 2 hours, I just think there'd be like more of a connection between me and her.
Right. Well, you're a
That's
method
just
actor,
me.
so.
Yeah, I'm a method. I gotta, I'm still working on the Harry Tubman thing, but
There was if you go back to the shot, and folks, that's sleep.me/Kevin, as we bastardize the commercial. It looks to be a large black dildo with a hook to the left on the counter there, beside the little cactus, or maybe a succulent in some fashion there.
now
Listen, they're happy, they're sleeping comfortably, and that's what Sleep Me is all about, folks. 25% off, sleep.me/Kevin. All right, today's stiff one of the week. This is something I've laughed at over the years, and I thought it would make a good stiff one here. You ever watch do they have public access shows anymore? Like in your town, they, someone can pay for the airtime and go on and talk about baseball or whatever they have.
No, I don't have anything that I guess the closest
it was
thing
big
we
in
would
the
have
past.
is,
It might not be.
yeah,
anything anymore.
no, I think that the like whatever the local cable company is. I don't have the local cable company, but they have channel 18.
Right. There's always, they show like the town meetings and shit.
It's like news on the news on the 8s or weather on the 8s and all this shit, where it's.
Well, Manhattan's public cable system was notorious for a long time for a lot of bizarre programming by the general public. Al Goldstein's Midnight Blue, we saw a little Al last week, originated on there. Robin Bird, famous porn woman, had a sexy show where people would sit around in the buff and talk about making adult films. And I guess this was on, I think, Manhattan Cable. It's a guy who had a political talk show, and all of Manhattan is stiffing this guy for this clip. They call in prank calls all fucking night long. This is a compilation of this guy getting hammered and destroyed. Why do you even try at a certain point to continue? But here, I'll find the guy's name so we can at least give him a shout out. But this has become a very popular meme. From the video, it looks like it might be the 90s. But
Yeah, how you doing? Cool, question. Hi, that it's just how do people feel about it? Hi, you're on the air.
I was wondering, are you also the cable doctor?
Yes,
Oh, you have dual roles.
that's right.
Okay, just curious, and hopefully the guy that does taxi talk will give up his job to you too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yes, I was wondering if I can have my AV switch connected to two VCRs.
All right, well, you have to call me on the other show. Thank you. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, Ken.
Yes.
I think it's good that people can have handguns so we can shoot people like you.
Right.
Fact.
Fuck you.
Hi, you're on the air.
How you doing?
How are you?
All right.
What do you think? Should we carry handguns or what? Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. What's...
People like you.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. Hi, you're on the air.
Hello, Ken.
Yes.
I was thinking that if the criminals, you're trying to give guns to people to fight the criminals, wouldn't that make it just as easy for the criminals themselves to get guns? Because if you're opening this market up for the just plain citizens, that the average citizen is not going around looking for a gun. It's the average criminal that's going around trying to find any weapon he
Good
possibly
point.
can. So that would just make it twice as easy.
That's a very valid point. A lot, and that's what one of the big arguments that the police have is that a lot of the illegal guns get into the system by burglaries. Like most people keep their gun near their bed, most likely, and so a criminal will come in, rob your house, and steal your gun, and it would get into the system, the illegal system. So that's an issue. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, I called before with a very valid point. I think it was one of your first calls.
Yeah.
Fuck you, you cocksucker. Hello?
Hi, you're on the air.
Hi. How you doing?
Okay.
What is it good?
Hi, you're on the air. Hi, you're on the air.
I don't think the city was willing to pay for something like that. You know, it's
Probably
an added,
not,
it's
but
an
it's-
added expense.
But it's a good idea, but you're probably
yeah, it's
right.
a good concept, but what's the chance that Mayor Dinkins, who can't even clean up the city, I fucked your mother up the ass? Yeah, I think maybe we should...
It's you know, that's an interesting point he's making, but you know, then
His
again,
mother
you
got
have to see
fucked
what
up the
happens.
ass.
That's what this show's about, to discuss these issues. Hi, you're on the air.
Well, Ken,
Yes.
I was wondering how you would think that it would be possible to regulate the sale of these guns, and wanted to know if you suck dick.
All right, well, in answer to your second question, no, and I'm not sure how we would regulate the sales. Hi, you're on the air.
I think you need a federal law first.
That's good
if
enough.
You want to have a law in
He
New
answered
York
the
City
fucking
against
question,
guns.
though. God bless him.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hey,
Is
Ken,
there-
how you doing?
Is there any way we could fucking put his head on Buddy Rich?
It's not too far off, though, actually.
It's we find some fucking gems, man.
I was digging the
Absolutes.
hair, the fucking entire cat that was sitting on his head for the entire show. It is now time for Dear Sexy. We're bringing it back.
Why is
Go
it?
ahead.
Why is it that we like that sophomoric, like you're talking to him and you're giving him a prank call, and then all of a sudden you turn into a sophomore in high school and you rush your delivery. And I was just one more thing, Ken. Hi, Buzzy.
I love the ones that don't even try and they just scream "fuck you." It's unbelievable.
It's to shoot you, motherfucker.
See, kids today don't realize there was a time when you called somebody and you didn't know who was on the phone. This is before caller ID.
We used to terrify. We'd find out like whoever was like their mom and dad were going out, and they had like three girls would be at the house. We'd call their phone. We're gonna murder you.
Exactly.
Fucking just terrify them, right?
Me and a friend, we were having a sleepover. We were probably like 13 or 14 or something. What we did was we opened the yellow pages at like 2 in the morning, and we went down all of the limousine companies, and we ordered a car for 5 a.m. for each, a different place for each house on my block. And then at 5, we just went to the window and watched the block fill up with limousines as all the drivers were getting out, going like this to each other.
Wow.
You can't do that debauchery anymore.
No, they'd have 85 ways to catch you.
I should have been locked up for that, but there was just no way to do it back then. You were able to skate.
See, now, I would have fucking said, wow, it sure is funny how the Oliver family didn't get a limousine.
Didn't get a car.
Right? I would have had to send one to my house just for the coverage.
See, I wasn't that smart.
See, that's what I mean.
I was diabolical enough to think of the plan, but yeah, I probably would have got nabbed in the getaway car. 430 59th Street doesn't have a fucking limo in front of it.
You need to watch it because you're the kind of person that becomes a convict, and I'm the person that is a criminal.
Correct. There was a difference. Like when someone said to you, "Were you ever arrested?" and you said no, and you said, "Oh, do you mean convicted?"
Yeah.
Wasn't that you? Did you tell me that? Okay.
No, fuck, it was going into Canada, and they had just gotten linked to Interpol. So, before, man, it was just Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
I ain't done shit. And you didn't have to even have a passport back then to go to Canada. You'd have some fucking form from the wrestling company.
Ah. All right, so it's time for Dear Sexy. These are actual Dear Abby letters that were answered by Abby, but we thought that we would like to see what advice Kevin would have given.
We also had a Florida guy, a Jersey guy, and a pedophile wrestler go through these questions and handpick what they felt were the best ones.
Absolutely. The third segment of the night is always kind of an amalgamation of all those things. Who knows? Dear Sexy, my husband and I have been together for 6 years, married for 4. We have a lot of marriage issues during the last few years, sexually and otherwise. I no longer trust him because of something I found out last year. I have his email information, and I was also able to see the search history from his phone on the computer. I discovered that he watches a lot of porn. I don't think it's a big deal because I know many men and women do. But I saw he was also watching gay porn and searching for pictures of well-endowed guys. Does this mean my husband is gay and likes men? Or does it just mean he likes different sexual things? Or is he researching for Kliq This? I'm not sure what to do. I don't know if I should approach the subject with him. I don't want him to know I've been snooping around, so how do I ask him without telling him how I know? Or should I just let it go? That's from Knows Too Much in Texas.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways. Like I always think, like in your case, ma'am, you might want to go on the offensive. So, maybe cook him up a pot pie and put a TV tray out for him, and while he's sitting there digging into it, maybe you slide off the back room, come back out, maybe 11, 12-inch strap-on.
That's what I was going to say. Stick it right in.
Yeah, he might just be a freak. He might that may squell everything he wants right there. Just one up the fucking pooper. Doesn't have to why give him the option, to pick a dude with that fucker hooked onto him when. Like you could
That might save the marriage right there.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to go out.
And then the worst case scenario, like you can always fucking say, you know what, you fucking do another fucking thing, I swear to God, I'm going to play that fucking DVD at the fucking next fucking, and you got him. So just fucking, because when you're behind him and you're fucking giving him that American Psycho fucking gimmick, make sure you just got a little camera action. He's toast.
Always hang that over his head, right?
And that way there you can both have trust issues.
Right.
So you got
I don't know if in this specific example, Kevin, the search engine is a little more troubling. You can happen upon porn that you did not intend to click on, but searching for guys hung like sewer pipes, that's a very deliberate action. So a little tough to have an explanation for that.
Unless you're well endowed, because nobody that's well endowed is going to want to watch porn with somebody that's not well endowed, because they can't put themselves.
They can't identify with the person in the video.
No, if they're not fucking packing 3, they're packing 11. They're not going to want to watch a fucking porno with some guy with a 3-inch cock, because it's going to be like, it's almost like child pornography to them, because they're fucking. So I don't know how this guy is.
This is incredible. This is exactly why this segment needs to be on this show, and this is why you need to. You're like the Stephen Hawking of cock.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know all the angles here, and that was a brilliant observation. You could be this guy's attorney in the divorce settlement.
Yeah, I think I've actually got a call from him today. So
that was X-Pac.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Never mind.
Well endowed, also, so it could be.
Hey guys, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Need to call a timeout real quick here. I wanted to tell your listeners what I've been telling my world listeners for a while now. It's about all the incredible things happening over on adfreeshows.com.
The debut of our new Monday Mailbag series is here with a man we love to hate, longtime WCW and WWE referee Nick Patrick.
But they didn't know who was going to be the heel out because of her that the Montreal Screwed got on there. I said, I guarantee, I promise you, I will be the heel, and that they were going to hate me far worse than him. Watch this. And then I went out, and that happened. And they said, you're right.
34 years ago, Jim Ross was on the call for the first match in the classic Flair Steamboat trilogy at Chi-Town Rumble. And now he's watching it back on a bonus watch-along edition of Grilling JR.
As far as a match is concerned, nobody's going to have a better match in 1989 than you just witnessed.
So many people, this is what got them hooked on wrestling for life, this match. And
Ad-free shows members sat shotgun alongside Impact star Frankie Kazarian and Eric Bischoff as the pair reflected on their time together in TNA and answered member questions live.
I did as good of a job as I could to substitute for Kurt Angle. There's no filling those shoes, but I did the best I could. I thought we had a great match, and I subsequently tore my tricep in that match. So it was a roller coaster of emotions of a day, man. But it was cool to be put in that position. Like, hey, well, we're throwing you into the main event. It's basically sink or swim, and I think I carried my weight, and it was a real fun experience, man. One I haven't really talked about a whole lot.
Hey, that's just a small taste of what Ad-Free Shows has waiting for you, including a brand new perk, getting to join in on the live recordings of the shows with 4 levels to choose from. See for yourself why Ad-Free Shows is the best value in wrestling today. Sign up now at adfreeshows.com. That's right, sign up today at adfreeshows.com.
Dear Sexy, second letter. Dear Sexy, my mother-in-law is divorced and has a live-in boyfriend, man friend. No, an old man living with her. He's good to her, but he's too old. And now she's starting to show signs of aging. She's only 58. The boyfriend is 78 and is really getting on the family's nerves. At night when he drives, he can't see the turnoffs. When he comes to family gatherings, he can't stand the kids yelling and having fun. What a party pooper. When he dies, if he dies, first, she'll be lost. If she goes first, look at all the things she will have missed out on by hanging around an old man. I say it's okay to be friends, but leave it at that. Life's too short. Get on with it. That's from Frustrated in Whitewater, Wisconsin. She have a right to legislate who her mother-in-law's dating, for God's sakes?
It's her mother-in-law.
Yes.
Not her mother.
No, this is a PC. This is a bushy gun.
This isn't even fucking like bloodline. You get no say so. If you don't like it, don't go over there. What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
Where's the husband in all
this? Or fucking nut up. If he's 78, he's probably weak as fuck. Like, how long do you think it take for fucking to hold a pillow on his fucking head?
Not that we advocate.
No, I'm just saying. Hypothetically, how long?
Right.
But for 10 minutes or 30 seconds? What kind of strength are we talking here? So
I don't know. If he's a spry old coot or not.
Yeah, maybe he's tapping the dog fuck out of the mother-in-law, and the rest of the day, fucking, he's just tired.
Right.
Obviously, she's satisfied.
Right, we're in agreement that she has no right to open her mouth about this,
maybe she fucking maybe she secretly yearns for his return.
You could try the TV dinner gimmick like the last letter and see what happens.
Hey, you never know.
So last week was the
exactly it's a pot pie.
Was it a pot pie?
Yes.
In my mind, it was a TV. You said snack table.
I
said
TV
dinner.
I said
Salisbury steak.
I did say TV table. Salisbury steak was always good with the mashed potatoes and
the carrots, the baby carrots,
or the incredibly perfectly burnt peas. That the actual burning on the aluminum foil gave it its own spectacular chemical taste. God, those
we're
are
the
fucking
we're the
days.
70s, man.
Yeah, give me a fucking one of those Swanson deep dish with maybe
a little Swanson, yes.
Yeah, maybe go Swanson with the turkey and mashed potatoes.
The sliced
Yes.
turkey with that thing that resembled gravy on it.
Yeah, or somebody that had a really bad chest cold, and then and then watching the Flintstones like on prime time with a TV table and a really like Rebecca that like used to babysit us, who was this like 5'8", black haired, just bombshell. She'd sit Indian style with these real short fucking cut off jeans. You see her fucking box and be like, oh fuck, Mom, please, can we have her to be our babysitter? Mark, Kevin, you guys are 19, 17 years old. I know, Mom, but we're scared.
Was your house filled with smoke as a child? Did your parents smoke?
My dad, oh yeah, fuck yeah, my dad.
People, yet somehow we're alive. I mean, I don't want to smell smoke now, but I think back to like the conditions under which we grew up. My fucking house was I smelled like smoke. The house, the ceiling, when they would paint it every how many years, the white ceiling, and you saw what color it was.
Everybody on earth fucking anytime you got in the back seat of a car, somebody was hotboxing your fucking ass from up front. And you're in Detroit, man. You crack a window and it's just like, it's so fucking bitter cold out. And you're like, oh, it's fucking brutal. Your dad has that fucking, triangle window.
Oh, the little
flip. Yeah. See, my dad was chill enough where Bob would drive, like he'd drive with, and he'd just have that fucking left, because he was a lefty. So he'd fucking strum that motherfucker and just keep it out the window.
Oh, the dangle the arm, yeah.
But he just out that little tiny one, out that little tiny fucking crack. He had like
he'd stick his hand in the triangle.
Just like that much of his hand just out the fucking triangle. No, he was too fucking chill to fucking stick his arm out like a dumb fuck.
And when you and your brother were in the back seat, did you ever have your fucking seatbelts on? Or were you just climbing over each other, sitting on the floor like I was? I was all over.
If you stood up and got against the back seat, my dad or whoever could get to you first, it was almost like fucking whack-a-mole. They would fucking pie face you so hard. And we had a Galaxy 500. And anybody knows, it was like maybe a 65.
A spaceship.
It was a Ford Galaxy 500, and I don't know if we can pull up the back seat of a Ford Galaxy 500, but it's upholstered except for this middle area between the two seats, and it has this, I think it was used to if the zombies came, you were to crush their skulls on this piece of metal between the two chairs. Because when you got fucking pie-faced, if your fucking head hit anywhere near that thing, you were fucking, that's the start of the CTE.
The CTE is attributed to your parents in the
Steve,
car, not...
Can you look and see if you can find the back? Look at that fucking thing.
What is that?
That's the skull crusher.
Why? It's like a cheese grater? If you're making a burrito, you could grate cheese on it?
I have no idea. No idea.
Does that bring back any... Are you okay? Is this bringing back anything? Are you...
I kind of remember the car, but I was blacked out so much in the back from taking fucking rails off that fucking...
No recollection.
Yeah.
You learned how to work fucking steel cage from that, right? Teasing the fucking metal grate.
First fucking blood on the way to Ohio.
You know what premiered last week was the new season of A&E's WWE Legends special. They're 2-hour documentaries that they do about WWE stars and factions, perhaps, and they kicked off the new season with the nWo edition.
I saw that.
You were in that, for God's sakes.
Yeah, for like 13 seconds.
When you go off and do these things, and then you get the final product, you see it on television, How often is it what you were pitched or what you imagined it to be? Or are you sometimes disappointed with the final product?
I would say 99.97% of the time, I think it's fucking rotten.
And there's no way to know, right? You agree to do it. You go. They ask you just your questions.
Well,
You
what
don't
it is
know how they're going to frame these answers.
You know, and people that, it's funny because people who are in our business, in our industry, that watched a lot of that happen live, and like the person like Eric, you know, is talking on that, and he says some different things, but it's so hyper edited. I'm hearing like what they're using for my soundbite, and I'm thinking like, wow, that wasn't like even in that context. Like, I can't. It's almost like I came across like harsh at Hogan, the way they edited me.
Talking about when you were talking about his promos when he first joined the NWO,
and there was nothing, but there was like a 3 to 4 minute part in there where, excuse me, I was discussing to them, like that night that he joined us, like I'm in the ring in my mind saying, fucking, that's Hulk Hogan. Like Hogan is, Hogan's with us. Like, you know, because I equated as a mark, like Hogan was nothing but main event. Like that's what Hogan was. He was just a main event guy. If you were in something with Hogan, especially in that fucking red and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you would have heard me say that during that show, I think coming from me, a part of the faction, is more impactful than somebody else or a voiceover person stating how over Hulk is, or was, or wasn't. You know, I mean, there's a reason he turned heel because, you know, it had ran its course. The yellow and red had ran its course. They weren't. We watched, you know, the watch along on ad free, and we watched that, and it wasn't pretty.
When you do these, let's take A&E just as an example. There have been other documentaries I'm sure you've been part of, but when you do these, how smart, like, are the crew, the producers, the interviewers? Are they smart to the business? Are they able to have it, or are they just reading like pre-prepared questions?
Sometimes they're fucking really good. Like sometimes, you know, there's a couple of cats that we work with that have done 30 for 30s.
Okay, right.
For ESPN, they've done some really nice pieces of you know, journalism, and I think that's the thing is the guys that take it and cover that in a journalistic format instead of a sports entertainment format. I think those are the more successful. At least I think they draw me more because it's just I want to hear the analytical, you know, I don't want to hear fucking wrestling jargon.
So if it's too inside, if they're too smart, then it just becomes like just another wrestling piece, like talking to another wrestling guy, as opposed to someone who's trying to probe a little deeper. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I like when I don't want two guys jerking each other off. Like I want somebody like, God, it would be so, like every time somebody comes along, it's like I know there's not going to be a new question, but God, it'd be so refreshing if somebody asked it in a different fucking form.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah.
So tell me about fuck, and then it becomes people like, well, you know, there's a tape of him discussing the Fargo match, where he basically contradicts like 9/10 of what he says. Yeah, maybe because I was getting paid fucking $1,000 and I didn't really give a fuck. Like when it's A&E and they're paying you fucking a decent, you know, like and plus once you fucking don't have pigment in your hair anymore, it's like it's time to maybe be semi-serious. So I don't know. I just thought that it was bullshit that and that wasn't long after Scott passed that I did my sit down, and it was like he threw a couple of softballs and he like went right into Scott. And like nobody had asked me anything about Scott on tape, and I just immediately, you know, I break down. So what of that whole show, which I think is 2 hours of actual like network spacing, but I don't know what
I think it was about 85 minutes without commercial.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to it, but and all that time, I probably spoke maybe 4 minutes on tape. I was probably 2 minutes of the show, and they had to put me fucking breaking down.
Well, did you honestly not expect that? I mean, that's
that's of course. That, God, man, it's so control your own universe. It's like there's no history in the WWE or anything that they own the library. It's the history according to. There's not a definitive history.
Right. Which I thought when I watched this, there was some interesting universe building, let's call it, that for people who were not familiar with wrestling at the time, you got to kind of give the lay of the land at the time, what's going on in wrestling. And there were 3 letters that were absent from the telling of the story of wrestling going from the cartoonish silliness of 91 and 92 to more serious, dangerous, and that's ECW. Now, any programs that WWE are highly involved with, you're not going to see that, but the precursor to the nWo, to the black and white, to they're showing barbed wire in the cutaways in this show. They're showing garbage pails. Those weren't in rings before ECW, maybe in Japan, in fairness. But here, the big federations took their cue on how to change the business, and that the business needed to change, by watching what this little company in Philadelphia was doing to garner attention from the boys. You know, they were all watching it and talking about it, and then up to the office staff. I thought it was an egregious omission not to have the flaming tables, barbed wires, and garbage cans if you're going to show them in this documentary, and where all that came from. It wasn't the aha moment from Eric where, hey, bad guys are cool now. They were tipped off to that in wrestling. In popular culture first, like the Tarantino movies, and, you know, where bad guys kind of acted like good, cool guys. And then in wrestling with ECW. I just have to get that off my chest. So that was my one criticism.
And to me, like when did ECW start?
92. 92, it was in the bars. Then by 93, Paul Heyman was hired as booker, and they acquired some cable television, first on Sports Channel America, which did have national reach, but it was on like all over the dial. Then they got a contract with Sunshine Network, which was Florida, and MSG Network, which was New York. So they got some regular reach there. And that's the contract that actually ended up killing them because it was so expensive. But, yeah, so 92 through 94, 5 were the formative years. And then...
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see hardly any of that because we were, you know, that's one thing is, fuck, we were on the road so much.
Right.
You know, it was just, and if I would have came home and put fucking, because it was like on Sunshine Network or something like that. Or,
like 2 in the morning or something.
Yeah, down here in Florida. Like if I would have thrown fucking wrestling on my days off, fuck, I'd have got a steak knife in the neck.
Hogan said an interesting thing in this documentary when he is asked about joining the NWO and working with you guys. I'm going to paraphrase, but he said it was difficult because we didn't like each other. Referencing you and Scott and him. Was there heat beyond just the difficulty in trying to get the promos right? Because I know you guys were doing a little coaching.
I just think it was he was used to doing business a certain way, and we were used to doing business a certain way. And I mean, you get Scott and I together, it's just like there's a chance one of us might be mistaken, but 2 of us together, if we both decide it's correct, no, we're right. We're right, and there's more of us. So. But
was it difficult being in a room together? Like, was there friction with Terry? Or
no, it's never. I mean, because at the same times, like people have to realize we're both marks for the guy. You know, everybody's a mark for fucking Hulk. So it's like you can't have like, because you don't want to strike him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have that, it doesn't have that kind of heat with you where you want to strike. To me, that's like, I didn't like Piper and he didn't like me. And, you know, I would have, you know, that was just waiting to happen.
Right. But that wasn't the case with Hulk.
No. But I didn't care for Roddy. I didn't care for Roddy at all.
Why?
I thought he was a bully. I thought he bullied people. Like, I think he kind of bullied his way around. I think he told a lot of fucking stories about being fucking, you know, really good with his hands and all this other shit. He came at me one night in a fucking locker room in Boston. I fucking bitch smacked him. And Hulk was in that room, and fucking so was Pac, that are still alive. Randy was in there. I don't know if Eric was in there or not, but I remember when Piper had his podcast, he called me up on the phone. He said, "Can we go over it?" And you say, "I'll say I threw you out of the room." Like, you know, like I ended up. I'm like, "No, you didn't toss me out of the room."
He wanted to do a little revisionist history.
Yeah, it was like, you know, because I guess he didn't want, I guess somebody had brought it up and it was like, it was his torn quad, you know?
Right.
So it
yeah,
was like,
that's true.
People just kept going to it. Much like my CTE and my stuttering. And my heavy grandpa breathing.
But what... something I always talk to you guys about on camera with the kayfabe shows was I was very aware of the stylistic change that had happened in wrestling. So when Hogan was added, as a viewer, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool and unexpected. I'm like, but he doesn't fit. Like, I knew that something was going to be off unless he had been trained and was going to totally change up the whole thing. So when I would always ask you and Scott about it, and you said like the first night when it was like brother, and like, I guess what, you guys like stepped out and like sat down somewhere and,
we went
and said,
we sat down at a picnic table, and Eric, you know, was in there with Jimmy and Hulk, and Eric came to the picnic table, and Eric basically was just like, you know, he's like, this ain't working, is it? We're like, no, like it's just not working.
So when you have to go back in and save the segment.
So, I mean, so Scott came up with just trying to do some different things where he grabbed the camera and was like filming, like, you know, he was filming with the camera on camera. And then Neil said he could like, go ahead and like actually shoot something and frame it. So in case we got anything good, he could splice it in with what we were doing. And then I think Neil Pruitt was the one that came up with it. Let's do it in black and white and do it, you know, with that effect that it looks like a cut of a film.
Mm-hmm. So you could trim stuff that wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, but once you got kind of a specific thing that everybody was talking about in the promo, it would just be those, you know, those little blurps about, you know, say maybe just it was the Horseman, and it would just be, you know, bang bang, and everybody would, you know, one guy would just woo, and if I could cut to somebody else saying something, so it was just. I mean, you think about that, and then you think about like when we came out that there was black and white. You know, like they changed the television screen to black and white.
Right.
So,
I've always admired Hogan, and there was a little stretch there for a while where Hogan was always talked about kind of like I guess because of the red and yellow years and the repetitive work in the ring and the promos that had become cartoonish after a while. But I was always very aware of how good of a businessman he was, number one, but number two, how he knew when he had to change. They talk in the documentary that he had resistance to turning heel because of the legacy. But then he realized he needed to do it. Second turning point, he is humble enough to go, when he's put with you and Scott, this isn't my show anymore. Best I can do here is be part of a group, part of the band, an equal part of the band. And it didn't have to be about him alone anymore. He was able to kind of settle back beside you two.
And then he realized by us, like, we'd throw to him and shit, like we were still featuring Hollywood Hogan. I mean, we were the nWo, but we were featuring Hollywood Hogan. Like, we didn't have a problem with that. That was cool as long as we were all doing cool shit. Like, I used to love to get fucking baked and put on my fucking nWo t-shirt and my fucking black sunglasses, some fucking Ray-Ban cool cats, sit in the back with my Tommy Hilfiger black fucking mom jeans on with a fucking nWo shirt tucked in with a fucking belt and a fanny pack and a fucking phone beeper. Life was fucking sweet. And we'd go out there and Hogan would talk for fucking the first 4 minutes and fucking they'd say, "We're out." You fucking walk back and be, well, one down. Here we go, another Monday.
How was he with?
And Hogan always had fucking beer in his fucking locker room. I'm talking like cases of beer. There was always, like, it got to the point, I think anybody that was around him, like, you just became, like, I couldn't even think about going, like, having a match. I couldn't even think about having a match unless I had 2 beers. Because you get so tired of drinking coffee and water in the building all day.
Doesn't slow you down, make you sluggish? All that brew?
Fuck no, just too big. I mean, too big.
To stand out there, lean on the rope, and listen to Scott talk? Doesn't blow you up?
Not a fucking... Or actually be in a tag match and like put my elbow on the fucking turnbuckle and watch Scott work. Never fucking got tired of that.
Good for you.
I mean, yeah, and do it well.
Right. And look,
I can be probably the most cavalier wrestler. I mean, at times I have a certain cavalierness to me where it's just, you would almost think in my mind, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It feels that way. It's nothing like that. It's like I'm in it. I'm like, you know, we talked about this on the free for all with the ad free. It's, you look at the Yeti and you see the commitment that young man makes that evening in Cobo Hall in Detroit, Michigan, and you say to yourself, how can I bring anything less?
And then you do.
And exactly. It's like, wow, I'm fucking special.
It's called lowering the bar. Yeah.
And somebody has to.
And you had a skill for that.
You know, it's almost like people say, wow, man, like, it was like, on the ad-free show, like somebody said, I counted 9 moves in your first match that you did. So my skill set was, I mean,
too high.
You had to cut that in half.
Right. You had to chop that down. Absolutely. Yeah. You got rid of the chop.
Yeah.
I think you had a belly bump in the corner. That was gone shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
Eric Bischoff's role in this. I'm a big Bischoff mark. I always have been. But something I forgot that I was reminded of when I watched the A&E show was I knew he was in the ring on promos, of course, all the time. I forgot he started to work a little. Getting involved in matches. And he, of course, it positions him as being very critical of that decision. And I think that with the hindsight now, probably shouldn't have. But that was at the very end of that run, right?
I never had a problem with them getting in the ring.
Really?
You doing like some karate kicks or some shit?
Yeah. You don't think that was overstepping? You don't think that was part of the overabundance of what was going on and
it
too
felt,
much?
No, to me it felt completely like it was very normal. He was just one of the boys. I mean, it just...
Well, to you guys, but to the viewer, though, it's very different, right?
Fuck them. What are they going to do? Fucking shut us down and sell the company?
No. That's called the final 10 minutes of the show. So if we're going to go to the final 10 minutes, how could this have been reversed? I was thinking as I'm watching it, like, what decisions could have been different?
None.
To take this into a different angle, so that even after the sale, maybe
it wasn't about anything that we were or weren't doing. It was the fact that they fucking didn't want to have wrestling, period.
In the portfolio of AOL Time Warner products, yeah.
Because Fuchsia Media, I think that was the company, was going to buy WCW. Fuchsient Media was going to buy WCW, and Eric had the vision that the WWE would, own the Northeast, but we would have our logo on top of the sphere, and we would run like a fucking a weekly show from Vegas, and that was the idea. But we had to have, of course, someplace to put that, and Eric, just was hoping that we could, put that 2-hour show back on TV. I think he wanted to be on TNT.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with the hire, but they I never understood, like, when we were actually making money hand over fist, like, and we were doing like 6 ratings and crazy shit, and they would spend $50 million on some period piece that was, you know, kind of artsy but not really watchable. You know, the watches of the fucking Titanic. Oh, great. And it would open. They did a Holocaust one time, and it opened to like maybe like a 0.3. Like that was like what it opened on the premiere. It did like a 0.3, and we're doing like 5s, and we're doing 5s every fucking week. And this thing, like, it didn't draw a fly, and it cost like $45 million to fucking make. And you're gonna play it how many times? And our budget's $45 million or 50 or 60 or whatever the fuck it is, but we're giving you 7 to 9 hours of live TV every week. 300. Are you kidding me?
So it's safe to say, in your estimation, that the demise of the company was unrelated to any decisions that were made in programming. It was all corporate.
If you go back and look at the 8 weeks in ratings that follow the finger poke of doom, we beat them 8 straight weeks. I'm pretty fucking sure that we beat them the following 7 or 8 weeks after the finger poke of doom. But everybody wants to go to that as the demise, because there isn't any one thing. It's just the fact that they didn't want to have professional wrestling in their portfolio, period.
That finger poke has taken on a life of its own, really, as far as...
And my whole thing is anytime you can do something of that significance, I mean, everybody knows the guy in the white cowboy hat is holding Lee Harvey Oswald when Ruby comes up. But who really knows that man's name? Everybody knows Jack Ruby.
Buck Zumhoff.
Buck Zumhoff's father. What do you hear? Remember
Uncle Buck.
Remember that one of those deals where they had a picture of some hobos, but they were dressed really, and they said that one of them was a paid assassin that was Woody Harrelson's father. Do you remember that, one of those Kennedy fucking deals?
No.
Yeah, it was like Woody Harrelson's father was one of the shooters, the grassy knoll. Or maybe I dreamt it. Fuck.
Yeah, I'll look into it. You can ask Woody about it, maybe. But. So, in conclusion, we
kind of bounced around a little bit
with
the show tonight. I think I might have ingested cannabis tonight.
This is what we do. The bounce.
Oh, I know,
is what
but
people love.
I feel that it was a good night for me to, with the consumption of alcohol last night to go the opposite way and go to a more cerebral buzz of the campfire.
Yes, very cerebral, as we talked about strap-ons bent over the snack table. This was like Meet the Press tonight.
But I thought it was good, solid.
Ass fucking.
It was constructive. It was like options,
We were helping someone out, for God's sakes, is what we were doing.
And who knows? I mean, maybe there's somebody out there that's just listening, and all of a sudden they hear strap-on for some fucking God-known reason. They need something to fucking put in their mouth to to squell that chewing problem.
The chew, right? The craving the chew.
Yeah, who doesn't?
And if that doesn't work, if the 9-incher doesn't work, MINDBLOOM might be a product that can help you. There's no quick fix. We know there's no quick fix for anxiety, depression. It's not finding a new therapist or starting exercise routine. Not more meditation, better diet. Sometimes you need something to unlock your brain. You got to go a little deeper sometimes. Just a new way of thinking about the world. And maybe that thing is guided ketamine treatment from MINDBLOOM. There's a new tool to improve mental health, and it's at-home ketamine therapy. MINDBLOOM is the leader in at-home ketamine therapy, having safely helped thousands of people overcome their anxiety and depression. Unlike traditional talk therapy, ketamine works quickly. It doesn't have the unpleasant side effects of traditional antidepressants. In a study of over 1,200 MINDBLOOM clients, 89% reported improvements in their anxiety and depression after only 2 sessions. And right now, MINDBLOOM is offering our listeners $100 off your first 6-session program when you sign up at mindbloom.com/Kliq, Kliq. Use the promo code Kliq, Kliq. Take the first step. Break free from your anxiety and depression with MINDBLOOM. Go to MINDBLOOM, MINDBLOOM.com/Kliq. Use that promo code Kliq. Get on the road to recovery.
Go back to that ad for a minute. Isn't that exactly the face of anxiety? Like, that's how when I get anxiety, I feel like that. So just one.
That vibe, you're giving off the anxiety vibe there.
Yeah, but it's that I get rattled when I get anxious.
Mindbloom.com/Kliq. And
do you ever just get in the mood for fucking like a really long version played really loud of Whole Lot of Love?
Often.
I mean, just
that's a great one.
Yeah, I'd love that when it goes to that and it,
otherwise known as the TV dinner section of the
yes. Yeah. So I don't know why I thought about that, but
go ahead. Best Zeppelin song. Go. Best Zeppelin song. Go.
I'm going to say a whole lot of love.
That little interlude there is a little too psychedelic for me. I think When the Levee Breaks. Precisely. You know, a little fun fact about that song. You know the echo of the yells, like he yells and then you hear it like faded in the background. That was actually organic from the tape laying on itself. It bled through and duplicated itself. That wasn't an effect thing.
So in other words, what you're telling me is that the motherfucking song is magic.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't even supposed to fucking exist.
When the Levee Breaks played at full volume in your fucking car when you're on the highway. There's nothing like it. It's amazing.
I left the airport
Got harmonica.
with Whole Lot of Love, was just starting. I left the airport. And I said, fuck that. I pulled over. I dropped the convertible top. It was beautiful. I just like, fucking, I was listening to some Zeppelin. I'm thinking like, and you're going to get fucking pulled over and you've had like 5 fucking glasses of wine on the plane. Turn the fucking music down, douchebag. You're not 16.
But a car full of 17-year-olds pulled up next to you and went, look at the old man listening to the old music. Yeah. Please.
Sorry.
Raise Ariana Grande a little bit so we can drown him out. Ask Nash.
I'll drown her out.
You sizable load.
Something perky up there, little pumpkin.
Hashtag Ask Nash is how you do this.
My son liked Max Miller, and they have a duet that we used to watch all the time. And man, she's so slinky in this motherfucker. It's just like, ugh.
You dig a little Ariana Grande?
Because my son was a fan of hers, and like I said, Mac Miller dated her, and my son was a huge Mac Miller guy, and so there was I want to think it was Netflix had a Grande like a special where she sang and danced, and like did like it was like a whole fucking like a Madonna type show back in the day, but just her. And she she can dance. I mean, she's a talented little girl, man. And she's got that big ass voice. She's got that Christina Aguilera, those fucking pipes. She sings some fucking wicked octaves to me. I don't know. And she's very pleasant to look at. I mean, for somebody that's, I mean, it's just she's sexy as fuck is what it is. I think she's
putting over Ariana Grande. I would not have imagined that.
Yeah, I'll definitely,
She could be a little more. She got a few more curves for my taste, but this is where we diverge.
I could put up with her nonsense.
Okay,
at least for 45 minutes.
Who are you kidding? 10. Hashtag Ask Nash. Paul Whiting, would Kevin Nash consider entering into a business venture to release a line of gym attire under the brand 11 Soft? I don't know if this is an offer from Mr. Paul Whiting or. I don't think anyone at the.
I don't think anybody wants anything soft at the gym.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's
14 hard. Maybe a better way to go with that. Fernum Schnavitz, what did you think of the Sopranos ending scene? Also, what did you think about the Malice in the Palace?
I think my interpretation is they didn't get whacked.
I don't think so either.
Tony didn't get whacked and life went on.
That's exactly what I thought the point of that whole thing was. The family comes together, shit's never changing. He's under like indictment or there's going to be legal troubles. The daughter's getting married. And this is just going to be, and Don't Stop Believing. The movie never ends. It goes on and on and on and on.
I agree.
Right? Little clues.
And my son said that he'd seen someplace where it was that guy did whack him. Like it was that, and I was like, he could never come up with the actual like it on the internet where I would read something and the director said that this is what,
I think David Chase did address it at one point, but I don't even know if you can even take any of that to heart, what he says in retrospect, what his intention was. I don't think the intention was that.
See, now I'm looking at Steve's comment over here, and Steve says, I thought the deeper meaning was that the story is over for us. And that's kind of how I think we both think that same thing. Like, that this chapter is closed for us. Like you said, it's going to go on and on and on. This thing,
Right.
It was just over for us. And Breaking Bad is the same thing.
Good show. Okay, so did the creator explain the ending? Yes, the creator, David Chase, explained the ending of the show in multiple interviews. He confirmed Tony Soprano died after the cut to black. Oh, for God's sakes. Then he changed it because I think at first he didn't say that. I don't like that.
Doesn't ruin it for me. I didn't see it.
Cindy asks, watching the nWo biography on A&E and Kevin Nash is spray painting the life part of nWo for life, and I'm noticing, is he left-handed? I should know this, but I don't.
Yes.
You
I'm
are
a lefty. Yeah. I'm left-handed. Bob Nash was left-handed. My wife is left-handed.
My wife and daughter are, and but now here, what hand do you use scissors with?
Right.
See, you had to change for the world a little bit because there were not enough.
They didn't even have them.
Right.
Until I was maybe in 5th grade.
Right.
They had and by then you've already learned. They never had left-handed notebooks. So when you were to write on a spiral notebook, that motherfucker was just railing your wrist.
Yep.
And that's why everybody that's left fucking would work their way, like this to get over that fucking shit.
You'd always have ink on the side of your hand, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel Nafis, considering his successful college basketball career, would Kevin be interested in playing in an NBA celebrity game? Was he ever asked?
No, my knees couldn't take it.
Vilpin T, has anyone in the wrestling business ever approached you and thanked or acknowledged that you and Scott forced the issue of guaranteed money? Some may not know it was not always the case, or was minimal, like $1,500. Anyone ever credit you with that in a positive way?
Yeah, a lot of people.
Okay.
That's pretty fucking true. I mean, we put it this way: we didn't hurt the boys. I don't think anybody will say that the outsiders didn't. Yeah. We might have held some people back in their eyes, but
Tatanka certainly,
but we were trying to make sure everybody got paid. I remember when we went to India, and we were doing, and I said the top half of the card would get a check when they got to JFK. Would get a check for 10. Bottom half of the card to get a check for 5, just so because we were over there, and it was going to screw up shit, and it got to the point, man, where you took $200 draw every night. So after 23 or 24 nights on the road, you could bring home $6,000 to fucking mama, so she could pay bills. Man,
Right.
it was not fucking.
No, it was
tight.
It was tight, and it was a weird time. But you guys did kind of put your mark on that and encouraged guys to ask for money because you.
Once we got the chance to fucking raise the bar for everybody else, like why wouldn't you? Because like you're supposed to be the boys, man. Like that's the whole thing. Like the guys that broke me in, it's like the sacredness of being one of the boys. Like I haven't seen Honky Tonk, and God, I haven't seen him in. I can't even remember the last time I saw him. I think maybe at a con 5-6 years ago, and there were times when on these things where we'd rattle at each other, but we were just trying to fucking just still, keep something going between anybody that was still working or whatever the fuck, And so I ran into him, and he was sitting right at the fucking. I walked into the Pensacola. They've only got like maybe 10 gates, and like right in the middle of it is like this horseshoe hub little bar, and the Lakers game was finishing up. So I'm like, oh fuck, this is sweet, man. I can sit right here, and I'm looking at the television screen, and I look over, and they've got this. She's pouring, I think it's 305 is the area code down there, and it's some blonde lager in a fucking big fucking like 20-ounce glass. I'm like, oh fuck, that's so me. So I'm not paying any attention. I just sit down, and I just fucking like casually look to my left, and there's fucking Honky Tonk. I'm like, fuck, man. And I hadn't seen him the whole weekend. And he was so kind. He looked at me and goes, man, I'm just real sorry about what you had to go through. And that was it. Like he didn't go any further. He just, but I could see in his face the sincerity. I was just like, because people would always like say different things about Honky Tonk, and I just remember when I did that pediatric AIDS thing, that like I didn't have to ask him. He was just there with his gear and willing to work, and it was just like, wow. So.
Yeah, I always liked him. I worked with him a lot.
Yeah,
and,
I
hope that's still the case.
It was
He's
really,
had some changes
he
of
got,
heart recently.
He got real sick with COVID. He was telling me. Yeah, he was telling me like fucking like hit and miss sick. Yeah.
The first run, probably the first time around.
And, well, yeah, and I think that we were at the same time. I think I was in like Qatar and like a couple places, and he was over like different places too, where I think the strain was already out because there was higher populations of Chinese.
Right. Hearing some lab talk now about that virus. Did you catch some of that?
Yeah.
Still not confirmed by the department, but it's being explored as a possibility.
There's so much fucking. I saw today. This is today's Wednesday. This will air Monday, but I saw today where like in Greece, a passenger train ran into a fucking freight train.
26 people.
I think it might be in the 40. It might be.
Oh, is it higher now? The last report I saw was 26.
But I think they were saying like the temperature was like 2,000 degrees in some of the fires. Can you imagine sitting in a fucking wrangled fucking train, fucking burning at 2,000 degrees?
No.
There's got to be better fucking. I tell you right now that trains ain't fucking looking too fucking good. How about here's one for you. I got a question for you. How is it that you have such a fucking problem letting an illegal immigrant over the southern border of fucking Texas, but motherfucking you will take some toxic waste from Ohio in a fucking heartbeat? What the fuck? They got, I looked at, I'm like, what other fucking shitty places are they doing this to? I'm like, oh, fucking Romulus, Michigan. Out by where my aunt used to fucking live. Out by the airport. Wow, they're putting a bunch of fucking toxins out by the fucking airport in Detroit. Nice.
Is that where it's?
Yeah, that's the schematic. I'm like fucking Brockovich at this point. I'm just on this fucking shit. It's like fucking people don't even in Ohio. They don't even listen to the EPA. They just fucking. I'm on a hand radio 24/7, just telling them how to fucking get as much money as possible in a settlement. I'm telling you right now, this Ohio situation is going to be the next Camp of June. So you better get in early.
All the illnesses and lawsuits and all the shit that. Yeah.
Oh God! I mean, it's just how do you have a disaster? Like, how do you have a disaster and there's no way you know the scope of this because you have no idea what chemicals. It's like that whole permafrost thing in Russia. That this thing is basically, it's just defrosting. And who knows what fucking plagues and shit is going to fucking spores are going to
lie
come
beneath.
Up. Yeah. I don't know, man.
We were all over the map tonight, weren't we?
I was fucking stoned. Is what I was, and I didn't realize it until like maybe 15, 20 minutes into the show. I'm like, fuck, man, I got a nice, and it's like a sativa, like a fucking. I got a nice.
That's the relaxing buzz.
No, it's more of a talkative, more of a.
Which is the one like so indica's the couch type.
Indica means in the couch.
Right.
Sativa is you might want to fucking listen to a little bossa nova music.
Right. Or a little
short and sweet and kind of sexy, the girl from Ipanema.
Play us out, Kev. Go ahead, play us out. Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat. Created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, and Sean Arnold. Producer Steve Kaufman. Graphics by Dominic D'Angelo. Title sequence and audio edit by Mr. Wesley Burleson.
He'll play us out from here, right?
Theme song by Dale Oliver. Technical research by Tristan Nash. Copyright 2023, y'all. Butch and Sundance Media. Hey, Kev. You want to do another?
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a remake and play Misty for him.
Deuces. I was